What sounds like good advice but isn't. Marry a doctor so you can live a better life. My parents were never like this, but I had aunts and uncles who would tell their kids this regularly. My wife married a doctor when I was still in college, 13 years ago. I'm finishing training next year with 450k in debt and have spent the last 8 years working 60-90 hour weeks. It's a sweet life, man. Great advice, especially if it's just for the money. 450k? WTF. I used to do a stand-up joke about this. Parents frequently try to give their children everything they never had. My parents definitely did this. The thing is, it doesn't help anyone. My dad grew up poor. He had nothing. But through hard work and determination, he out himself through college. He out himself through medical school. And he became a doctor. My mom has a similar story. Growing up, she had even less than my dad. But she had determination and she worked hard and she, pause for effect, married a doctor. And yet here I am, a 3-time college dropout who sells weed for a living. In reality, my parents got married right after my dad graduated with his undergrad and my mom still had a year or two left to get hers. He went to medical school right away, and after my mom got her degree in education, she supported them on her teacher's salary while he was in school and then while he did his residency. This was also 40 years ago when the student debt crisis wasn't as bad as it is today, but it's still damn impressive. After my dad finished his residency, they got pregnant with the first of their 5 children and my mom was able to retire from teaching to be a stay-at-home mom, which was always her dream. She went back to teaching when we were older. They've had a truly great life and relationship. But it's not due to my dad's income. It's because they love each other deeply and work well together as a team. I guess my point is, don't not marry a doctor if you love each other. But if you're doing it for the paycheck, you're going to have a bad time. Just do what you love. It sounds great, but a lot of people aren't good at what they love. It's important to do things you love but find a way to make a living too. I could play games all day, but what will I eat and pay bill with? Bill takes cash, check, or credit. A lot of people mistake turning a passion into a career with turning a hobby into a career. By nature, hobbies are what you do to de-stress, to unwind, to feel better, to reconnect with yourself. You can put them down forever and take them back up when you need, no problem. If you turn that into a job, something required to perform for your livelihood, you will, usually. There are always exceptions. Come to dislike your hobby and seek something else to recharge with. Just do what you love. Presumably refers to turning your absolute passion into your career. The same with the do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. The biggest issue for a lot of people, and for a lot of different reasons, is that they either don't have a driving passion, don't know what it is yet, or there isn't a market for it, which can change, and which you can even possibly pioneer yourself. They are left to assume their favorite hobby is a passion. I still have no idea what my passion is, nor do I have advice on how to discover that, but I do love my job, so there's that. If you get a job doing what you love, you will never work another day in your life. Pretty quick way to murder all your favorite hobbies, and leave yourself with no means of escape or unwinding in your personal time. Happened to me when I transitioned from meditative painting to freelance artist. Biggest advice I give to aspiring artists, especially those who love drawing all day long and do nothing else, before going into art full time, find a love for something completely unrelated to it. If you get a job doing what you love, you will never work another day in your life, because that field probably isn't hiring. Just be yourself. At heart, this isn't bad advice, but it is too vague to really be useful to someone who needs it. Better put, be cognizant that you want to make a good impression, but don't do it in a way that misrepresents who you are or makes you uncomfortable. Be the best version of yourself more. Spend some time and do some introspection. Keep the parts you like. Make a plan to change or eliminate the parts you don't like. Not easy, but very rewarding. Want that job? Just keep calling to check on the position. It ingrains you in the hiring manager's mind and makes them consider you more when your resume makes it to the top of their stack. How it really works: the manager goes through the stack of resumes, finds yours, and throws it out, then sends you a polite rejection email. You're meant to think the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but in reality, they just replace the wheel. F and thank you. I've tried to explain that it's just not how it works anymore. It was much more of a problem with my parents during high school when I was first working. Now in junior year of college they get it a lot more. But man, I can't tell you how many times I had to explain calling 6 times in 2 weeks does not show ambition. It's just annoying AF. It's like saying hire me. Pretty please. Oh please 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 won't you hire me? My parents keep telling me to apply for jobs I have no experience degree knowledge in. They'll teach you, they say. But since everything is online and if asked if I have experience in X and I say no, the computer then kicks me out of the application process. I've been a hiring manager for years and completely agree. However, I did really well on a series of interviews and was told I'd know either way in a day or two. I let it go for a week without hearing anything and decided to email the company letting them know that I was still interested in the position if it was available, or would love for them to hold on to my resume if it wasn't. Turns out, they had to have a last-minute meeting about the position because it wasn't part of the budget. Had a third interview just to work out any bugs and was offered the job at the end of the day. It's completely okay to follow up on an interview, but please don't harass the manager because they really will put you in the no pile. Any advice that doesn't include nuance is bad advice. Any advice followed without honest self-assessment is bad advice. I completely agree. People often see things in a much more black and white way than they should. Ironically, your statement is a rare example of something without nuance. That is still absolutely true. Being bullied? Just ignore them. Live each day like it's your last. See, dying people can do this because they don't have to deal with the consequences of their actions. You do. If today was my last day, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't go to work. I'd just do whatever makes me happy. Would be fun if I could do that every day, but that lifestyle wouldn't sustain itself. I would kill my upstairs neighbors. Never give up. Sometimes you do need to give something up, There's a difference between bravery and foolishness. Truth be told, the difference between bravery and foolishness depends on how the story ends. Fight a lion and win. You're brave. Fight the same lion and lose. You're foolish. Giving up can be the better choice. Insert sunk cost fallacy here. Giving up can be the better choice. Though it's hard, I must admit there are things at which trying will not make it so. Sometimes, you just sort of know. There are hills I cannot climb. Giving up will save me time. Talk to HR. They want to help you. HR is there to protect the company, not the worker. That's why it's called human resources and not employee satisfaction. It's not resources for employees. The employees are the resource. What's best for you as a person isn't always in sync with what is in the company's interest. Try everything at least once. For the 100th time, I'm not gonna blow you, dude. Your loss. B. I have a friend who lives by this. Surprise. He's addicted to drugs and alcohol. Always stick with family. Blood is thicker than water. Just because someone is blood related doesn't mean you should keep them around. Nothing is more important than family. If you enjoy your family and they support you, great advice. Otherwise, pretty much says you are stuck with abuse. That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah, sometimes what doesn't kill you makes you a quadriplegic. Don't go to bed angry with your significant other. Sometimes you just need to sleep on things and take time to cool down, especially if you're like me and grouchy AF when you're tired. Don't try to force a resolution to a conflict. Agreed. Late night arguments get exponentially worse when one or both of you is tired, cranky, and worried about being able to get enough sleep for work the next day. The longer the argument goes on, the more those factors will increase intensity of the argument, not lessen it. It's not that you find resolution before bed, but that you still respect each other and focus on your love for each other instead of the conflict before bed. No matter what has happened during the day, I tell my wife I love her before we close our eyes. Never give up. Know when to give up. Calm down. Okay, first of all, to be fair, calming down would actually help. Near always. Telling someone to calm down. Less so. Just be positive. Follow your dreams. This one hits home for me. I was a hobbyist baker for years and finally decided to follow my dreams and quit my job to start a bakery. Turns out, baking bread at my leisure from the comfort of my home is much different than getting up at 2 AM to bake bread just so I can keep the lights on. People keep asking me why I don't bake professionally. I say because I enjoy doing it. Forgive and forget. Always forgive, but forgetting only tells the person that you don't value yourself enough to not allow it to happen again. So no, I will forgive you and remember how you screwed me over, so that you can't do it to me again. I hear some people say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but I've seen the nearly killed and that just couldn't be much wronger. Marry your best friend, not someone you're passionate with, because passion fades. You'll be comfortable, and that's what really matters, which is all well and good, until you realize 5 years down the line that your sex life sucks and your partner has found someone they are passionate with. Now you're out 5 years, a best friend, and a partner. The truth is, there's no right answer to this. Marry the person you want to be with. If you want passion, get passion. You want comfort, get comfort. Just make sure you're on the same page with your partner. The problems start when people think their spouse or partner is supposed to be their everything. Like, no, by all means get married, but keep a circle of friends, acquaintances. Because no one person can be someone's everything. It's selfish to expect that much from one person. Stop crying. Crying doesn't solve the problem. Eat all the food on your plate. My mom stopped using the starving kids in Africa line when I told her to box it up and send it to them. I got my butt whooped and grounded for probably longer than necessary, but she didn't use that line again. So, win. Broke. Just be yourself. Woke. Be the best version of yourself. Largest brain. Be the best neighbor Mr. Rogers knows you can be. Wear 2 condoms for double the protection. The real thing to do is to double up using both a condom and birth control. Additional condoms would have an asymptotic rate of return anyway. The second is less useful than the first, and so on. Double up on methods and get regularly tested if you really want to be safe. Don't sleep with people who haven't recently been tested. To be clear, don't double bag condoms. Even if it didn't risk tearing it or some other issue, the benefit of an extra would decrease asymptotically very quickly. Realistically, you'll always have problems with leakage and misuse no matter how many you try wearing. Again, don't do this. Double up on methods and not condoms. Do work you love. Should be. Do work that doesn't kill you and pays the bills. I like your addendum as I heard it similarly growing up. Sometimes our work and passions coincide. Other times, we work to support our passions. Always helped me remember that it's okay to not love your day job. Just be yourself. This works only if yourself is socially acceptable or not awkward. So being actually yourself can indeed make things harder in social situations. It's a terrible advice when it comes to making friends. Let me tell you about this timeshare. Great investment. Think about all the money you'll save on vacation. Buying a home. Make sure you buy the home of your dreams. The biggest, most updated one you can't afford. You only live once. Can't find what you live within your budget? Well, buy a shithole at your budget limit and flip it. Of course, don't include maintenance, incidentals, or a safety net into your exercise. There's so many more. Adulting, in the US at least, sucks. It's a minefield of bad or outdated advice and outright scams. It's exhausting. Wear a fedora to make yourself look more attractive. Fedoras work for people if they A. have an outfit that matches, not sweaty track pants. B. are reasonably physically attractive to start with. C. are 70-year-old Cuban men. If you don't tell your partner absolutely everything, then you don't have a good relationship. A good relationship is when you both have secrets and none of you care about them. Of course there are secrets and there are secrets. There are always natural questions that can go unanswered. But if you don't get a pool soon, you might want to fire the pool boy. To anyone with mental health issues, just get over it. Hang in there for people with depression. Come on, don't be sad. Thanks, Diane. I would have never thought of that. I'm cured. Even worse, when they start listing things you should be grateful or happy for. To help combat coronavirus, add some ammonia to bleach for cleaning solution that will kill 100% of the virus and other germs. Listen to your elders. Any type of advice that tells you to abandon your lover over a fight, unless it's abusive of course. Listen, you can sometimes have tension with a lover that can last weeks. Sometimes you'll go to bed fuming at them. Don't just quit and leave. You're supposed to work it out. Think about what either if you are doing wrong, etc. I have seen wonderful relationships end because the couple dispersed, the second one bump in the relationship happens. Do as I say, not as I do, except there's many times this applies just fine. If I've been doing something for 30 years and am extremely good at it, the way I do it and the way you should be doing it to learn aren't the same. If I'm teaching you, I won't be getting you to do things how I do them. I'll be teaching you the correct way. Then as you get more experienced you can decide for yourself how you'd like to change things up. But for now, do as I say, not what I do.